Our next speaker, Craig Valentine, A Key to Fulfillment. A Key to Fulfillment, Craig Valentine.
Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and judges. Years ago, I had many conversations with myself, some contemplating my life, but unfortunately many of them were contemplating my death. You see, as Les Brown said, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had a dead-end job, a dead-end relationship, and a dead-end life. Ladies and gentlemen, I needed help. And one day, I was in Ventura, California, on the 14th floor of a hotel in what they call the Sunset Room. And I'm watching the sunset over the Pacific Ocean for my very first time as I contemplated my death. And then just as you would take a cookie and dip it into a glass of milk, the sun dipped into the ocean. And a few moments later, it was gone. I looked over at the mirror next to me, and it was as if my reflection stepped out of the mirror and walked over to me and looked me in the eye and stared me in the face. I told you I had a lot of conversations with myself. And I looked back at where the sun used to be and I said, wow, that was amazing. That sunset was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. But I had no idea that the sun goes down so fast. Well, my reflection looked at me, and he said the three words I never expected to hear. He fixed me in his gaze and he said, "You're an idiot." I said, "What?" He said, "You heard me, you're an idiot." I said, "Why am I an idiot?" He said, "Because, Craig, anybody's an idiot who thinks it's the sun that's moving." Oh, come on, I know it's not the sun that's moving, I know it's the earth that's moving, but who cares? What difference does it make? He said, "It makes a lot of difference." I said, "Why does it make a difference?" He said, "Because, Craig, the sun represents your spirit, and the earth represents you. And just as the earth rotates and turns its back on the sun and parts of the world become dark, so do you turn your back on your spirit, and that's when your world becomes dark. But it's people like you who think that the sun is moving, who think that their spirit's moving. You've heard them. They walk around all day. Oh, my spirit's low today. My spirit's just down today. I need to go to the store and get some wine and spirits." And the bottom line is their spirit is always high, like the sun is shining, ready to guide their way, ready to be their beacon of light, but you've turned your back on it. And you wonder why you have your ups and downs and goods and bads and backs and forths and bottoms and tops and ins and outs. And the bottom line is you've turned your back on your spirit, and that's why you stumble and why you fall. I looked at my reflection and asked him the same question you're probably asking me right now. What? And he slowed it down for me, and I'd like to do that for you today. He said, "The sun represents your spirit. It's always high, always shining, ready to tell you where you need to go, ready to make you fulfilled. But the earth represents you. And just as the earth turns, parts of the world become dark." He said, "We do the same thing with our spirit. We don't listen to it, and that's when our world falls apart." Well, I understood this, so I asked him the next obvious question. I looked at him and I said, "Reflection," because that's what I call them. "How do I stop myself from spinning away from my spirit? How can I always be guided by my spirit?" He didn't answer me. I said, "You were real talkative, Reflection, a couple of seconds ago. Now come on, how do I stop myself from spinning away from my spirit? How can I always be guided by my spirit?" He didn't answer me. Or did he? I stood and I thought. That's how I think. Silence! That's it, silence! You're trying to tell me that I never take the time to just be silent and still and listen to my spirit. I'm so busy trying to be all things to all people that I never take the time to be silent. Silence is the key, isn't it? He said, I said, "Well, what do I do now?" He said, "Shut up!" And I have, ladies and gentlemen, for at least 5 minutes every day, I'm completely silent and still. And it has changed my life immeasurably. But there's not enough silence in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. If you're like I used to be, you wake up to an alarm clock buzzing off in your ear. That's your first sign of life. There's no silence there. Then you jump into the shower and the water's running down your back and you're singing the show tune. "I did it my way." I never said you were singing well. Then you get out of the shower, you get into the car, you turn on the morning talk radio. There's no silence there. Then you get to work, you talk to your employees and the people above you. Then you get off work, you get back in the car, you turn on the radio again. This time you turn to traffic to see what's the best way to get home. You get home, you pop your feet up in front of the television set, you watch Ally McBeal, Felicity, Dawson's Creek, whatever happens to be on that evening. Then you get a bite to eat, you go to sleep, you start the whole process all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, like the old lady Claire on the Burger King commercials used to ask, where's the beef? I ask you, where's the silence? Where's the silence? Saw my friend John just the other day. He was skateboarding. I ran up behind him. I said, John, you're skating towards a dead end. He just kept going. I said, John, you're skating towards a dead end. He just kept going. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I said, John. Oh, well. John couldn't hear me. He had his headphones on. But the same way I was trying to get through to John and he wasn't listening is the same way our Spirit's trying to get through to us, trying to give us everything we want. But we too have tuned into something else. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying? I'm saying this. If you take 5 minutes of silence each day, I guarantee you that the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of your day will be filled with a tranquility, a serenity, a peacefulness you never even knew existed. 5 minutes of silence will give you confidence exuding from every pore in your being. And 5 minutes of silence, ladies and gentlemen, will lead you to feel fulfilled. How do I know? Because I'm still here. No longer do I wake up to my life and fear it, all because I had the courage to listen to my spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with one thing today. This one thing is more powerful than anything I could ever say as a speaker, more meaningful than anything I can ever say as a Toastmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with this. Madam Contest.